What's up, guys? This is Matt Doran, MDoranD for CardRunners.com. I'm going to do a leak finder video here. I'm excited about it because this is one of my students playing here who has been doing really well, and he shot this video for me. I haven't looked at it yet, and I'm going to leak find it. Hopefully there'll be some interesting spots on here. And what I'm going to do is just I'm going to watch it right now, and I'm going to stop it anytime I see an interesting hand, and that way it'll cut out some of the dead time. So let's have a look at this 6 max 50NL 6 tabling video. Okay, the first hand I want to talk about is one that's going on right when this video starts. I actually can't even see pre-flop, but I can kind of assume what happened here pre-flop based on positions and how much is in the pot, knowing the stakes. All these tables are being played at 50NL, and these are 6 max videos. So if we look at table 2, which is the top middle table, we're in the big. It looks like we're in the blinds, and it looks like the raise went in pre-flop. So I'm assuming that this unknown player in early position opened, and that we flatted from the blinds with 9-9. Now this flop came and we have checked, and I'm okay with this line, absolutely so far, and I would not be 3-betting here pre-flop with no read, especially against this kind of awkward stack size of about 50 big blinds. Not ready to get that in pre-flop without a read from an early position open. So now we're here with second pair against an unknown. So I would tend to check this flop planning on calling. With no read, I am going to probably play these spots a little bit more passively. And then as we get a read, start to look for more spots to be aggressive here. Let's see what you actually do here. You do check. You face a bet of $1.50. And like I said, I like calling. You do call. We actually turn now second set, but it puts 3 to the straight and 3 to the flush on the board. And we check, and our opponent checks it back. Okay. And I don't have a huge problem with this line either. This is again, with no read and not having the initiative, I do think checking this turn is fine. If our opponent had bet there, I would be certainly happy to commit, because we're only 50 big blinds deep, and I do think we could get some action from worse. Certainly, I think that if he was to bet that turn, he could also call a raise with a top pair and draws. The people with these types of stacks tend to not get away from those types of hands facing just one more bet. That is an assumption, but it's one that's worked for me for a long time. Unfortunately, it goes check-check, which the good news arriving when it goes check-check there is that we usually had the best hand on the turn, almost always. But the bad news arriving on the river is that there's now 4 green cards and we don't have any. Yeah, very little we can do here other than check. It seems unlikely to be able to bet and get called from that much worse. We'd have to hope to get called by a blank queen. Maybe making a block bet here of $1.50 even could get called by a Queen X type hand, but it also would open the door to us having to fold to any raise. As played, though, I'm probably just going to check and fold to any sort of reasonable bet here on the river. Kind of unfortunate that we had this run out. We have made this strong of a hand on the turn, but one thing I think that's important is that when we're going up against someone that we have absolutely no read against, that we don't try to make a huge mistake. And I think that we're about to accomplish that. We're not going to lose a huge pot here with 4 to the flush on the board. We do check the river. Our opponent bets 4 into 525, and I think that that our player here is our hero here is going to fold, and with no read, I think it's totally fine. If you did call and lose, I would not call it a huge leak at all. I mean, getting that type of read early on and calling down with a set in such a small spot, never going to be that huge of a mistake. I do think you probably were beat, but I'm totally fine with it, how you played that hand.